reality, dust till dawn. A blend of titans, a force so strong in the shadows where it belongs. Walking with physical bend in the real. Ulaleg's presence a surreal ordeal. A plane reduced to a drained husk. Its name forgotten, lost in the dusk. Ulaleg, the twisted spawn, born in reality, dust till dawn. A blend of titans, a force so strong in the shadows where it belongs. Once it appeared, then faded away. Did it dissolve or in the blind eternity stay? A mystery wrapped in cosmic might. Ulaleg, the fusion of dark and light. Heavy on the ledge. Ulaleg, the twisted spawn, born in reality, dust till dawn. A blend of titans, a force so strong in the shadows where it belongs.
Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm trying to dial in the volume here. Welcome back to the Rogues Passage podcast. I am Tanner Cherry, joined by my co-hosts.
Hi, I'm Brando. Welcome.
Memory.
Yeah, we're gonna dig into. Ooh, that's not the right page. We're gonna dig into some Tarkir Dragonstorm. How do I get that to go away? Get out of here. All right, we're gonna. This is mainly gonna be.
To talk about Dragonstorm.
Yeah, we want to talk about well, so is it? It's almost the whole set is spoiled here. What is this? Thursday?
Yeah, we get it in
Not
2
a good
weeks
picture.
basically. So
Yeah, there's some pretty sick cards. This set is the love letter of 2025 for sure. Like of all the bogus, wild things that Magic is doing, and the universes beyond IPs that are being absorbed into the main pipeline of Magic, Tarkir Dragonstorm is the one bastion of magic that is happening this year. And the cards that are coming out are, and not only the cards, but the card art treatments. Like, oh,
There's like
yeah.
four of each card. It's so crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know. I probably can't show you properly here. I should have pulled up the page. The dragon scale foil treatment that's going to be on some of the special guests, like the fetch lands, the enemy fetch lands. You see,
so beautiful.
It'll be on this list, I think. They are so cool.
yeah. Unfortunately, I've got this filtered by set codes TDM, which is the main set, like standard, and TDC, which is the commander cards. And I think those are on the special guests, the SPG. I'll probably just
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I'll jump over to those maybe at the end and we'll talk about them. But for now, we'll talk about some of the main set cards that are coming out. I will leave it up to you guys in chat to tell me if the music volume is too loud. I guess I'm just going to take it down a notch right now, just trying to do the housekeeping, you know. Okay. I know that before we started live here, we were kind of bouncing back and forth talking about, like, what are your favorite cards? There's some heaters. There's some definite heaters. We'll just get to them, I guess, or do you want to point out anything to start out before we start talking about cards?
There's one that needs its own honorable mention.
Well, there's absolutely, but when we get to it, we'll get to it.
I'm going to call it out right now. We got omniscience for dragons? What the omniscience for dragons? All right. Yeah, we'll get there when we get there.
It's
Nice.
everybody's favorite. We know. We
Yeah.
know.
And Mark Rosewater did actually do a call out in every like standard set. He does like a blog post where he kind of gives a tease as to like vague little teases about what cards are going to be in the set. And yeah, the clue for this one was a popular zombie enchantment
Yep.
that is going to be made for the dragon type or whatever. And so people were kind of like, is it Rooftop Storm? Is it Necrogenesis? Is it this? Is that? And now we know. And yeah, I mean, Dragon players are probably just dancing in their seats. Or Miram.
I'm dead. Yeah.
It's a good day to love dragons.
Oh yeah, it's a very good day to love dragons. I know Miram's getting juiced after this thing goes.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got 3 cards on screen here, which are 3 different variants of, which I guess is 4 down here. But yeah, let's talk about All Out Assault. I've just sorted by rares and mythics at the top so that we can talk about the juiciest cards first. All Out Assault is a 5 mana Mardu enchantment. It is a Anthem. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and Death Touch. And when it enters, essentially you get another combat phase. And when you attack, untap each creature for the next one. So it's a Anthem finisher. Like this is gonna play like a Craterhoof type thing, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be strong. I mean, Mardu's always been very attacky, and this is great for that. The death touch on top of everything is quite a cherry for it, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, your opponents are like, I'm not blocking anyway, I'm dead. Like, whatever.
Yeah, guess I'll just accept my fate. Can I just mention on even like the first one here, the All Out Assault, the bordering on it is a little bit different than the regular kind of like multicolored border. It's got a little glitter to it.
Yeah, it actually has what looks to me like the enchantment
Yeah.
from
Look at the constellation.
Yeah, the constellation
Yeah.
enchantment or border from what's it called again? The enchantment plane, the one that we went to with Ashiok and Elspeth recently.
You're talking about the one that's based on Greek mythology? Talking about Theros?
Yes, Theros.
Talking about
thank you.
Theros? Talking about Theros?
Talking about Theros. Yeah, this card's sick. We're going to be time constrained to get through all the amazing cards to talk about, so I'm just going to move right on. I'm going to slide past my girl here, Angel of Invention. I'll just do a brief little shout out to this card. It was the first time I ever got inspired to build a standard deck when I was early on in Magic, and Our Devastation and Kaladesh were still in standard, and it was the Godpharaoh's Gift refurbish Angel of Invention deck. It was like a blue-white sort of graveyard reanimate, and like it was the first time I built a standard deck to go play at the store and play standard, and I never did, but I still have that deck, and I'll never take it apart. I love it so much.
Heck yeah, dude.
And
Yeah, Angel of Invention is a house. All right, right on to, I think this is my personal favorite card that's coming out of this set. At least it's definitely going to be one of my new commanders. Better, Ancestor's Voice.
we're just gonna call him is just better.
He's just better.
Better.
Yeah, green, black, white, 2 generic. This is like the most Abzan commander that's ever existed in Abzan, and it's just, I love it. 3/5 flying, lifelink. Beginning of your end step, put a number of counters on up to 1 target creature you control equal to the amount of life you've gained this turn. Return 1 target creature card with mana value less than or equal to the amount of life you lost this turn from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is just
Good Abzan stuff. Just good Abzan stuff. Hell
gain
yeah.
life, get rewarded.
Yeah. Oh, he's so good. They're all so good. And, you know, the CMCs are high, but there's always cheating them out.
And that's just dragons.
And I
That's
see that
just dragons,
this is a TDC set code, so this would be one of the commander. Is this a face commander, or is this just in one of the commander decks?
I can't remember. I think all of the face commanders are like the humans or like very like the colored pairings, and then the dragons are all the generals. I'm not sure. I can't.
Cool.
Yeah, we have like pictures of the boxes for now, but we could also look through the deck lists and kind of guess of which is the commanders. But I mean, realistically, you could just get this as a single, put it on one of the commanders,
Yeah.
and just play the precon that way.
We also have another version of
Yep.
He's Just Better. Em, you wanna take this one?
Into all, or Ancestor's Voice.
No, kin to all. Yeah.
Yeah, we got it. Kin to all. At the beginning of your end step, if creatures you control have total toughness 10 or greater, draw a card. Then if creatures you control have total toughness 20 or greater, untap each creature you control. Then if creatures you control have total toughness 40 or greater, each opponent loses half their life rounded up.
Big butt dragon.
5 CMC. In Abzan, 5/7 flying. He's a spirit dragon too, just like the rest. But he just keeps getting better the bigger you get. I just think that's great with decks like Doran and stuff like that, where you just want like the biggest toughnesses possible. This is so easy to make as a commander too.
Yeah, I will say that Betor gives you 7 of those toughness right off the rip. It's a 5 mana 5/7 flyer.
And you're so close to that thing already. Yep.
Yeah, so beginning of your end step, all you have to have is a 3 toughness creature to draw a card on your end step. So, and then if creatures you control have total toughness 20, untap. So, wow, yikes. So you're essentially, first you're having like Monarch very easily, and then with a little bit of help, you have sort of a Seedborn Muse effect for your creatures. And then you're just like doming someone for half their life. It's kind of win more. That 40 or greater is going to be.
That's each opponent, Tanner. Each opponent loses half their life.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Dude, especially in like a black deck, a Grievous Wound in that's just, you're done.
Oh, jeez.
Realistically, everyone that's running Doran right now for their, big butt stacks, this is almost immediately like a better option.
Oh yeah.
Sick. I like it. I'm excited, man. Like these dragons all seem sweet, and like what better to represent the spirit of Commander than like legendary dragons, like EDH,
Oh yeah.
We always had an idea to do episodes on our show, gameplay episodes, where we go back to the original, like the origins of EDH, where you had to have one of the Elder Dragons as a commander. And now, like with all of these editions, there's just so many more options to do it. I know they're not Elder Dragons, but they play like them.
Your Elder Dragons and Hearts.
Yeah. All right. Next we got straight back into standard, and oh my lord, we've got two new artists here, but three new pieces of art for Craterhoof Behemoth.
3 new art. Yeah, 3 new arts, 4 different treatments.
Yeah, this is standard's gonna be buck. I mean, getting to Craterhoof.
Everybody gets a Craterhoof. Yeah, everybody gets a Craterhoof. You get a Craterhoof. You get a Craterhoof.
Yeah. Dude, the art is sick. I actually saw on my Facebook feed or whatever, there was a little video of the artist who made the piece of art for this. One of the artists here. I think it was Magali Villeneuve. And yeah, just like painting it, being like, I can finally talk about this really cool piece I did. Yeah, we got Craterhoof back.
Yeah, they must struggle with that. Like just being like, I did this really cool thing and I can't show anybody.
Yeah.
Rough.
They likely did this piece of art like a year ago or more, right?
Yeah, almost guaranteed with the way that we know, the little that we know of the production line of Magic.
Also, shout out to the wonderful wizard Oz in chat. Good to see you there. Let's tell me, love the new elephant shambling mound of a Craterhoof. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the most iconic cards of many different formats, like even like vintage cube and stuff, right? Craterhoof is like the finisher for mono green. It's nice to see. It's very nice to see. Okay, we got that Divine Visitation here. One of my favorite pet cards. If I had to talk about like pet cards that I love, Divine Visitation. It's a 5 mana enchantment that means if you create creature tokens, you create 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance instead. Which, I mean, I know you guys have all probably died to me playing this card at one point.
I just played a game the other night where I played Divine Visitation and then created. I was creating. What's the card? I'm creating Sapperlings on everybody's upkeep.
Oh,
no, you're not.
No, I was creating Angels on everybody's upkeep. It was juicy.
Yeah, that's fun.
All right, Brando, you want to talk about the next little red card here?
It's fucking Draco Genesis, dude. Look at this thing. Look at this absolute unit of a. Scroll down, Tanner.
Yeah, actually, we need the better treatments.
We need one of the. Yeah, look at, especially personally that scale, like the wings and scale treatment one, I just love so much. It's almost D&D in like vibe. Draco Genesis, you may cast dragon spells without paying their mana costs. 8 mana, 2 red, 6 generic.
For free.
For free, especially in red. Like Omniscience in blue is already like a tough enough yet easy card to kind of cheat out to get the ball rolling. Like enough decks have abused it over the years. This is the most accessible goddamn card for dragons. Half the dragons that exist just make mana, whether through treasure or mana generation itself.
Correct. Yeah,
this thing is broken in a good way.
It's basically half. If you think about it, like against Omniscience, it's basically half an Omniscience, because any deck this is in is gonna have like mainly dragons, big dragons as creature spells. It's gonna work. It's definitely gonna work. 8 mana is insane, but yeah, like you said, dragons are famous for making treasure. That's one thing they love to do.
Red's really good at generating mana quick.
Like, in my Mirim deck alone, I cast a Clouth. I get 2 Clouths. I use half that mana for Dracogenesis, and I spill my hand of other dragons. It's just yikes.
Yep. I wonder how much that card's gonna cost. Any guesses?
I think this is gonna be one of the like real chase cards. I'm gonna put my guess probably. I think it's gonna soft cap off the rip at like 40. I think it's gonna jump up to like 120.
120.
Depending on how rare the print is, I just see this. Listen, we're getting an entire set of new dragon cards, and there's already enough dragon decks that exist. I think right off the rip, it's gonna go up.
Well, for sure,
There's
this
some of
version.
those really nice foilings, maybe, but
Yeah.
the fact that they have 4 different versions makes that less rare.
Yeah.
True.
One of like the really fancy ones is going to be like, oh yeah, like I'd pay good money for that pretty little thing. But
Oh yeah.
I think the regular, I think the highest we'll see it get is 40,
Yeah.
and then I think it'll settle down to like 25, 30. Because I mean, like Omniscience isn't crazy expensive, and that's much more like well-rounded, whereas this is just dragons.
No, I know. But I agree. I think this is just going to be very pet carded. I agree with you, though. I think it's going to come down over time, but right off the rip, it's going to be a bit.
I guess we'll find out.
I
Yeah,
can
those
see-
fancy ones, though. If you want to get your hands on one, it's probably gonna be difficult.
Yeah, they've
But it's
sure
gonna be
made a
nice.
way. Like the collector boosters have become king, right? Like when opening cool stuff like this, it also makes for like content that people make of opening packs and stuff, like ripping commander boosters open. I think it's more exciting to watch that content when there's like big crazy pulls. So yeah,
I
thumbs
agree.
up. I didn't realize I'm seeing now for the first time that there's a new Elsha. We'll talk about this in a second.
There sure is. A girl.
Actually, somebody else take Dragonback Assault. I don't know. I want to talk about Elsha.
Absolutely. Dragonback Assault, and we're getting a bunch of enchantments in this set. I assume some for each of the different commanders that we're going to have. And they all have ETB triggers and then a secondary ability. So this one for the Temur is when this enchantment enters, it deals 3 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. A little bit of a board
Ooh.
wipe. Little board wipe. Little baby board wipe. And then landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 4/4 red dragon token with flying.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 6 CMC. It's going to be higher, higher turns going through that you're going to be casting that, but it's a pretty good one. And then if you have an ability to bring an enchantment to your hand, or like something like where it brings enchantments back from the bin for 5. What's that shrine commander?
Go Shintai.
Go Shintai, where it brings enchantments back from the bin. You pay 5 and you get it instead. Something like that would benefit off of a lot of these different dragon enchantments.
Oh yeah. I mean, even outside of a dragon deck, Flubs the Fool is hyperventilating in his room right now.
Sick. Yeah.
Tamir Landfall. Let's go.
It's always fun, like sorting the set by mythics first and just looking at them, being like, "Wow, this set is buck wild," but like we're sorting by the mythics.
Oh yeah.
All right, so TDC, Elsha Threefold Master. This is from one of the commander decks. I'm assuming it's got to be the Jeskai one. Blue, red, and white. Elsha was previously a 5-drop, now a 3-drop. It's a 1/1 trample prowess. Whenever Elsha deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 white monk creature tokens with prowess. Ooh, I like this.
Definition of Spellslinger: go big, go wide.
Yeah, there's. Oh, this just has me excited. Also, the art. Oh, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
I love me some Elsha. Oh gosh. Okay. All right. This is for sure. This has got to be the best Elspeth ever printed. For certain, right? Brenda, you want to take it?
I mean, it's still pretty good.
5
This
mana.
one-
It's neat. I'm glad that its abilities aren't too overpowered because it's +1 to create 1 soldier. 0, put a counter on each creature you control. They gain flying until next turn. That's pretty decent. That's pretty strong. -3, destroy a target with mana value 3 or greater. That's kind of decent. It feels like War of the Spark-esque, kind of where they down-tuned commanders. And then they did the exact opposite thing that they should have done, and they slapped token doubling on it.
Yeah, so that +1 creates 2 creatures.
Yeah.
Elspeth was famous for making the 3 soldiers for a long time, right? But
Yeah.
having the static of like Mondrak or Anointed Procession means that your deck is also going to be tuned to explode with tokens. But I want to point out here that 0 is like kind of a game ender.
Oh yeah.
This
Because they gain
0,
flying.
all of your creatures get buffed and gain flying until your next turn.
Yeah.
So
Each.
if Elspeth sticks around, your whole board is flying from here on out and gets bigger. Like Elspeth is a finisher. It protects itself with the tokens. It has a static effect that's going to work with the rest of your deck, and it's got removal on a stick. I think it's going to be incredible in Standard. I kind of like. I really want to get back into playing Standard. This set is really kind of getting my gears turning. And Elspeth, like I know it was, what was it, the white one, the Wanderer,
Yeah.
it was very impressive for a long time, just because the play pattern was just so efficient and it was so good at protecting itself. But this one turns your whole board into flying +1/+1, and the fact that they're flying to their next turn means that whatever you leave to block is going to protect her as well. So, mad
Like
shout
it,
out to
yeah,
Elspeth.
it's juiced. Like the 0 is really strong. I'd almost like not be like that worried about it. Like it seems less potent than like the old Sorin settled player's life total to 10 the second that it comes out.
Yeah.
But 100% is the finisher. But that being on there plus the double tokens, like this is gonna get very abused,
Yep.
and I love it. I love it.
All right, going on, we've got Eshki, Teamer's Roar. You want to take this one, Em?
Sure. This I'm thinking is one of the commanders because I believe their art is on one of the boxes.
Yeah.
So this is likely the commander that we're gonna get for Temer.
Yeah,
and
you can
it
see the
is-
commander symbols too. They're different. The Tarkir Dragonstorm is like a weird spiral. The commander
But
decks
the
like
ones that are also getting reprinted in that set have, or in the precons, also get that same one too.
Yeah.
This one here is a 2/2 human warrior, and it says whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Eshki. If that spell's power is 4 or greater, draw a card. If that spell's power is 6 or greater, she deals damage equal to her power to each opponent. Which with Temer, like you're getting big boys, dealing the damage is perfect, and the fact that it's each opponent as well. For a green, blue, and a red, I think that's pretty okay.
Oh yeah,
Definitely pretty okay.
it's. I'm very excited about this card because this is like the most on-brand thing for me, especially lately. This is joining Henzi and Helga as what is my 3-pip power something 4 fucking matters.
Yeah.
I love it. This is.
We like big boys.
We like.
I
yeah,
like weird decks that do these kinds of things.
I'll take the
Yeah.
next
Just
one, I
about
guess.
like. Oh yeah.
Felothar
Felothar.
the Steadfast, 1 white, black, green, Abzan 05. Human warrior. Each creature you control assigns combat damage with its butt. Creatures you control can attack as though they didn't have defender. Ooh, this is like what's the walls? Arcades kind of, yeah.
Doran, yeah.
Doran, yeah. Wait, Doran. I'm actually not super familiar with that one.
Doran is the Abzan version of Arcades. Essentially, he's a free folk.
Oh, yeah.
Toughness matters. That's the one I was talking about for the other Abzan. It's just this is going to be, I assume, the commander for it. But even if that the Betor or whatever, even if he's not in the deck, get him, put him as the commander, put this guy in the 99, or put Betor in the 99. Because this is so good. This is another one. You might as well switch out Doran if you run him as the commander, because this is, I don't want to say better, but
well, but
really
we've also
good.
there's also another ability here for 3 mana and tap, sack another creature, draw cards equal to the sacrifice power creature's toughness, then discard cards equal to its power. So that's kind of interesting. Like if you're using the walls and you have 0 power or whatever, 1 power, you're getting away with murder here.
Defenders that don't even have defender because of him.
Heck yeah. Shout out Scott A in chat. Hey, if I'm in Calgary this summer, can we jam some games? Love the games we had in Edmonton face to face. Heck yeah, of course. You let us know if you're in Calgary. We're always down. Better butts for sure. All right, let's keep going. Wait, Kaya. We got a new Kaya.
No, this is Geist Hunter's a reprint, yeah.
Is it? Well, sorry, it's in the commander deck.
Yeah. Lear is also a reprint. We're getting a bunch of reprints in the commander precons, it seems.
Yeah, okay, so we got a Gex Yawgmoth Praetor reprint, which is probably very needed. That card is actually commanding a good price still. But we'll move on to another new card here. Who wants Kotus?
I'll take Kotus. Sultai, what beautiful juice. Sultai is Zombie Warrior, 3/3. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from your graveyard by exiling 3 other cards from your graveyard in addition to paying its other costs. So that's there's a mechanic that does that specifically.
Well, Underworld Breach kind of does that. You have to exile 3 cards to pay. Like Underworld Breach gives cards in your graveyard essentially escape, and the escape cost is exile 3 cards plus its mana cost.
Yeah, escape is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Escape without the actual mechanic, which is kind of nice. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control enter, if 1 or more of them entered from a graveyard or was cast from a graveyard, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Kotus. So it's kind of Sultai. So yeah, it's sort of Sultai Reanimator Voltron, what it seems like.
Yeah, seems cool. Kotus.
Check out his cool hands.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like
Yeah, one hand's literally just like a dagger.
That's like embalmed in jade.
Yeah, you can
so
see his finger bones are inside like a jade dagger, like a blade. Oh, his whole arm actually.
Yeah. And I love the armor. Like Tarkir has the same kind of look, right? And he looks good. He's also he has hands for a belt.
Oh my
he does
god!
have hands for a belt.
Wait, those are his hands.
I assume his full hands.
Maybe.
Oh, that's actually kind of funny. I do think those might be his hands to some extent, because he's got a jade hand holding the sword on the other one, and that would be the right hand for that hip.
Yeah,
that's
weird.
That's kind of weird.
All right, moving on. We got a reprint of Lear, Disciple of the Drowned. This card is crazy. 5 mana, human wizard, 3/4. Spells can't be countered. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard has flashback equal to its mana cost.
I assume that's going to be in the Jeskai commander.
Oh, God, I gotta get the Jeskai deck. This looks insane. Because also Magma Opus is in there. If you.
Yep. Manaform, I assume. Monastery Mentor, because it's all prowess.
Yep.
I assume that's all for Jeskai.
Let's talk about
can
this.
I talk about?
Yeah. This is a new one, right? Oh,
the new one.
Manaform Hellkite, is that a new one or no?
Nope. The next new one is Mox Jasper.
Oh, yeah.
It sure is. I mean, we love a 0-drop mana rock, no matter what. Cheerios players love them.
How do you feel about this? I think it's like, because this is the only card in the set that is going to be a serialized version, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
It seems okay. It seems like very reasonable. I don't think this card's going to be crazy expensive. I think it's going to be like Dracogenesis. That's going to be cool in Dragon decks, but like
It's just for us dragon players, yeah. And if you want to throw in another 0 cost into a janky Cheerios deck, it's or if you have a dragon commander that does other stuff,
Yep.
yeah, it's good to have. It's free. It's free real estate.
I think it'll see probably like a decent value. Obviously, it's not going to compare to the other moxes. I think it's going to surprise us with cost. I think this is going to be a weird sleeper.
Well, the thing is there's so many dragon commanders. Like you think about, like I have probably 5 or 6 dragon commanders that aren't necessarily dragon tribal, but having a Mox Jasper to get maybe the commander out an extra turn ahead or maybe multiple turns ahead.
Oh yeah,
it's so handy. Like think of Corvold decks and how overpowered they already are, having another Mox to have access to in an artifact sacrifice deck.
Yep. Exactly. I think it's going to be one of the. I think it's going to see a hefty price because I think it's going to. Again, a lot of these cards, I think we're going to see an oversurge of dragon decks kind of start to compete all over the board.
A dragon storm of sorts.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's good for the format of Commander and even Standard. If you're casting big dragons and just like smashing with these incredibly beautiful mythical creatures, like. That's like the power fantasy that you really want to have in this game. And we're gonna talk about getting your face beat with SpongeBob here too, right?
Yeah, we'll get
Gary
to
the
that.
Snail. But
I feel like this is the first set in a little bit that's felt like actual OG Magic.
I agree.
Like it's not race cars and motorcycles or cowboys.
It's not a haunted house.
It's fantasy.
Yeah.
This is dragons are proper fantasy. Yeah.
So shout out Dan Fraser on the serialized version art. Ooh. And I'm gonna scroll down here to this the frame here. The light blue kind of looking Mox Jasper. This is DZO is the artist. Whoa, this is like one of the most beautiful cards I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude. It's so beautiful. This is see, I don't see myself spending much money on SpongeBob or Final Fantasy. This is where all my Magic money's going for the next little bit.
Heck yeah. All right, we're on to, I guess I'll take this one. We got one of the, I guess, so the commander decks are going to kind of be like one of the human or adjacent clan character plus the dragon character from that clan as like a pair.
Yeah.
And this one is for the Mardu deck. Neriv, Crackling Vanguard. It is a 5-drop, 4/4 flying death touch. When it enters, create 2 red goblin 1/1s creature tokens. When it attacks, exile a number of cards from the top of your library equal to the number of differently named tokens you control. During any turn you attacked with a commander, you may play those cards. Flying death touch is going to enable you to attack every turn for sure. Oh, we got 2 different narratives here. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so this Crackling Vanguard is
there's 2
commander.
of each of them.
Yeah. So this one is going to incentivize you having a wide assortment of different tokens to give you an impulse draw when you attack and then play them that turn. This
pretty easy thing to do in Mardu though.
Yeah.
Very easy, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Art is insane too. Oh my god. All right, let's. Someone want to do the Nerev Heart of the Storm from the standard set?
I'm so excited about this card. This is Nerev Heart of the Storm. Can you scroll down one? I want that juicy art.
Yep.
I want the juicy art there. Especially, I think this is the first look out of cards that we're getting like the weird.
The black background. We did have one earlier, but
did we? Yeah. I like it. It's weird though. Half the cards just totally inked out.
Yeah, so for the people listening on just audio, it's the art style or the showcase art style where the entire text box basically is like a black splatter of paint, and the art is really sick, and then it kind of has like black elements all over. I'm really excited to see what these look like in foil.
Same. Anyways, yeah, Nerev Heart of the Storm. Mardu pips and then 1 generic. 4/5 flying. If a creature you control that entered this turn would deal damage, it deals twice that much damage instead. And I am so excited about this. This is probably going to be one of my first actual like flicker decks. And it's who needs to even you got two things that you're putting in there creature wise or just anything wise. You're putting in things that have haste, and you're putting in things that enter the battlefield and deal a shit ton of damage.
Yeah, that's what it makes me think is all the dragons that come in and just nuke things. It's just going to double the damage on those, and this is only a 4-drop, so.
Oh, it's so good. I'm so excited.
Yeah, Nariv is going to steal some hearts and steal people's games.
Yeah, this is the kind of commander that makes a game fast because you know half the life totals are gone in the first few turns.
Yeah, shout out to Planeswalker Games in chat saying Esper Dragons will be nice to see. And yeah, it's all damage, not even just combat. Yeah, it's kind of sickening. And like, these are cards that I'm happy to die to. I'm so happy to die to because it's like, this feels like good old fashioned like dragon magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
This whole chat we're having right now is making me so much more excited for this set.
Same, dude. Also, we're gonna have to do a follow-up after this set gets properly released because we have to make a shout out to one of our earliest podcasts. We're gonna have to do the sexiest dragon daddies too.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, we have so much more cool art now too. All right, Em, do you want to take Paranation?
I really do because I'm incredibly excited about this card. This card is essentially stop killing my commander. 3 in Abzan, return target permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a hexproof counter and an indestructible counter on it. It's the please don't.
I didn't even realize that. Like, if you have an Ur-Dragon or a Ramos or something that, like, when it goes to the command zone, it's too expensive, right? But let it go to the graveyard, and then you just pay 6 to get it back with good pants on, you know.
It's some good pants for sure. Like the hexproof counter is pretty good, but the indestructible and the hexproof, that's great. That's great. Doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's 6 mana, just with how some things have been printed as of late. But 6 mana seems fair for this.
It's also
just in general.
permanent.
Also, yeah, target permanent. Which is also double disgusting because it doesn't even have to be your commander. It could literally be any of your win con pieces.
Yep. Stop killing me. Stop trying to stop me.
Exactly. This whole set, for the most part, even when it comes down to mana values, feels like you said before, Tanner. It feels so much more or like you both said, so much more magic than the game has felt in a while.
Yes.
Yep. All right, going onwards. I'll take Sarkhan, I guess.
Yeah.
What Oz says in chat, like America, a good pair of pants.
A good pair of pants.
Good pair of pants.
Anyway.
You know, they're kind of, they're shitting themselves down there, those pants.
Well said. Sarkhan, Dragon Ascendant, 1 and a red, 2/2. When Sarkhan enters, you may behold a dragon. Oh yeah, this was the first card revealed from this set. It kind of teased the behold ability. So you may behold a dragon, and that's basically you show a dragon from your hand, right? If you do, create a treasure token. So it's going to help you cast all of these cool dragons in the future. Whenever a dragon you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on Sarkhan. Until end of turn, he becomes a dragon in addition to its other types and gains flying. That's a cool card.
Oh yeah, I love that there's behold on this. I don't know why. There was a couple of memes that I saw of this card specifically. The entire point of this card is to sit there and be like, hey, guess what? Here's the dragon.
Yeah. It's like flexing. You're just like, yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be a cool card. Oh, interesting. Whereas this is from the commander set as well. Who wants to take Shiko and Narset?
I'll take Shiko and Narset. A lovely another Jeskai. I think, yeah, this is the Jeskai commander for it. Shiko and Narset unified. 4/4, Flying Vigilance. Ability Flurry. When you cast your second spell each turn, copy that spell if it targets a permanent or player. You may choose new targets for the copy. If you don't copy a spell this way, draw a card.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
So yeah, you're either, no matter what, whenever you cast 2 things on your turn, you get benefit.
We love copying.
Yeah, copying, and if you don't want to copy or you just card draw, that's pretty nice.
Also, 4 mana, 4/4 Flying Vigilance. So I'm thinking Oathbreaker immediately.
Oh yeah.
Human Spirit Dragon too. Yeah. Real good.
All right, going on. Skirmish Rhino.
No, Shiko, Paragon of the
Shiko.
Way.
Yeah, okay, I'll take this one here, I guess. Or wait, is it your turn? You take it.
There's no take it away.
All right. Shiko, Paragon of the Way. 2 blue, red, white. So 5 mana total. 4/5 flying vigilance again. This is the dragon that was in the photo here with Narset. Yeah, so Shiko, when Shiko enters, exile target non-land card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard and copy it. Cast that copy without paying its mana cost. Value engine as per Jeskai rules.
Yeah. That's too good. It's too good.
And I like the specification of casting the copy. Well, there's been a few weird situations lately, people getting hung up on the difference of just copying a spell versus casting a copy. And it's like, oh, it requires 2 very different things.
Yeah, jeez.
Causes.
I like
Shiko.
I like. All right, Brando, you want to take Skirmish Rhino?
Sure, I'll take Skirmish Rhino. Another Abzan card. Beautiful. Look at this juicy rhino just charging through everybody. There's a guy right at the front of that art there. It looks more just like a little dark splotch, just getting absolutely obliterated. Yeah, 3/4 trample. When this creature enters, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Pretty
Baby Siege Rhino.
Baby Siege Rhino.
You know what I like? I love the fact that this is going to spawn, like, it's going to bring Siege Rhino back into the fold to play, like, just the Rhino deck, right? You're going to have Skirmish Rhino and Siege Rhino. It's going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool card. All right. I think, okay, we got Smile at Death here, which is one that's coming into standard as well. I'll take this. 3 white enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, return up to 2 target creature cards with power 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a 1/1 counter on each of those creatures. This has to be like kind of insane for like those decks that like to have the cheap creatures that just combo with each other. You eliminate any piece of that combo, and or you can just, you know, dump everything into the graveyard and bring them back every turn.
Yep.
Yep.
Seems like a combo card.
Oh, very much so.
It's also really good in like Shadowborn Apostles and stuff like that, where you have a bunch of 2/2s, where you're, you know, getting them back from the bin and searching for
yeah.
things. Yeah. It just keeps you from, you know, stopping your little engine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who wants to take this heavy hitter?
It's me.
It's me.
See, everyone's really excited about Draco Genesis, and I think it's great, and I'm very excited. This is the card that I am most excited for, and a card that I think is gonna fucking break the format.
Oh yeah.
Stormscale Scion. It's a 4/4 for 6. Flying. Other dragons you control get +1/+1, so it buffs your boys. And Storm. Storm is a lovely mechanic we all know very, very well. It's incredibly strong. Storm will get you when you least expect it, and oh boy, it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah, for
So having
people,
Storm,
for people that haven't played with Storm or people that are like new to Magic, they're like within Wizards R&D, there's a concept that they like in regards to how powerful abilities are. They call it the Storm scale because Storm is like was the peak. It was like you know, if it's a 10 or whatever on the Storm scale, then it's as powerful as Storm.
Yeah.
Like Storm, Craterhoof and Storm coming back into standard is wild. Storm basically means when you cast a spell, copy it for each spell cast before it this turn. Copies become tokens. How?
Yeah, it's pretty juiced.
What do you think the play pattern for this is going to be in regards to how many spells you can cast before dropping this 6-drop?
In a red dragon deck, in a specifically red dragon deck, you're creating enough treasure on average that you don't really care. I'm gonna say
it doesn't even have to be dragons, just a
just a red deck that generates a lot of mana.
Like you're gonna be casting things that are gonna give you like multiple red pips. You're gonna have access to artifacts as well too. Heck, if this was like in your deck and you wanted multiple copies of that the Mox Jasper and just to get this guy out and you have a playset of this.
Yeah.
It's a strong deck.
Oh yeah, this thing specifically by itself too. It's like, yeah, it can go into any red deck, and any red deck that's going to be casting a lot of spells is like you're hooped without a board wipe or something, because it doesn't matter what else you're playing. Other dragons you control get +1/+1, and you're copying it. So every single one of them is not a 4/4. Every single one of them is minimum 5/5 and above.
You know what my favorite part about this card is that this is like the, you know, in movies where they're like, they said the name of the movie. They said the name of the movie. It's Tarkir Dragonstorm. It's literally Storm for dragons. Like,
yep.
I'm really happy to see this, and I would hope that the first time I get to experience this dragon, it's going to have 8 copies of itself on the stack, and they're all going to be buffing each other.
My favorite thing that's going to happen with this specifically is it's going into Miram. All of the cards that can go into Miram out of the set are going to Miram. And I don't even have to storm it to get 2. But then anything that storms before it, I'm getting... Oh, it'd be so many.
I have a question
So
for you,
many
Brandon.
dragons. Yeah, what's up?
How do you feel about cards you need to cut from that deck?
Oh, the deck needs a
For this?
the deck needs a revamp anyways. There's a lot of still pet cards in there, and I need a better I need better ramp. So this is exactly the overhaul the deck was needing to. Listen, there's a lot of juice, like Earthquake Dragon. Great dragon. It's a 10/10 that you can recycle back to your hand from the graveyard. It has no business being in Miram other than the fact that it was a big dragon. It's an auto takeout for any of these cards that can go right in. And then Moss Jasper, because now there's half my there's part of my new ramp. I've just got it.
That's sick. That's sick. All right. Scrolling down, we got a new Tygam.
This one's cool.
Yeah, all right, I'll take Tygam. Tygam, Master Opportunist, 1 in a blue, 2/2, legendary creature, human monk. He's got an ability, Flurry. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy it. Then exile the spell you cast with 4 time counters on it. So you don't actually get the double copy right away, but you put the first one that you cast into suspend and put that many suspend counters on it, kind of thing. That's interesting. It's interesting. I'd love to see how this plays and how somebody can break it.
Do you remember my Alundo deck?
How could I forget that?
Yeah. This is that, but slower, but more explosive. Because you're not removing the counters. But
much
this is
slower.
like this is you spend a bunch to set up a turn where you are cost reducing stuff, and then you cast a bunch of fucking spells, like two on your turn, two on each rotation, and then you're just fishing to stay alive until oops, hey look, here's a turn where I just cast a million things.
Yeah, it seems tough to have the juice to keep getting 2 spells each turn, but you're getting the copy, so you're getting the value of what you spent, and then you're just putting something in the bank to happen later.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, at 2 mana, I wouldn't even say so. Let's assume, 2 lands. We're not even going to go mana rocks. 2 lands, you get this. Turn 3, you hit your curve, you have 3 lands. You're going to preordain, you're going to brainstorm. Those 2 cards right off the rip, they're coming back to you in 4 turns. You get 2 of both of them on the cast, and then you're set up. Because then those 4 turns later, when they get recast, you've already stacked the top of your deck and drawn all the things you need to keep that chain going and going and going.
Understandably, if it hits the battlefield, it will be a target for removal at some point. People are going to realize the value that is being generated by this card.
Oh yeah.
I am going to do. This is one of those things that is going to stay in the podcast because it's live. I'm going to run and take a bathroom break while you guys talk about these 2. I will be right back.
Brando, it would make me so happy if you talked about both of the Tavals, because you are a very Sultai player. Sultai and Temur.
It's the Simic. Right from our very first podcast, I'm a Simic boy. If it has Simic in it, I play it. That's just it. It's my favorite.
I'm Dimir, so...
Yeah. So yeah, Taval, Arbiter of Virtue. I'm excited about this. This is going into Mothman deck, I think, because it's just fun. Flying Lifelink, 5-drop to mirror or Sultai colors. 6/6 Flying Lifelink. Spells you cast have Delve. Each card you exile from your graveyard while casting those spells pays for 1. Whenever you cast a spell, you lose life equal to its mana value. This is like a card built for late game. Like, this is a late game commander. You're not casting it even when you have the mana for it. You cast this when you've already got half your library in your graveyard, and you're like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna fucking exile half of it to cast the other half of it and win this turn.
That's true. Like the delve thing is definitely late game.
Yeah.
I see this Taval, and my immediate thought goes to cards like Repay in Kind.
Mm-hmm.
It's a black card that puts all players' life totals to the lowest player's life total. So having this and casting that after you put yourself really, really low, and then having your opponents at like 5, and then gaining lifelink from the 6/6 commander with lifelink.
Yeah.
I think that's neat. I like that idea. I love playing decks where you lose life when you do things, and then generating value off of you losing life. So I ran Keurig for years, right? And the whole goal of that deck was to have as many tutors as possible, get my life down to as little as possible, and cast Repay in Kind, gain a bunch of life, and have everybody else at less than 5 life. And I've won at 1 life before, and it's so much fun. It's so like a little challenge.
Oh yeah. Also, for all the weird jank players who like to do stupid things with this deck, copy it, give it away, or just give it away. No, great. Other players have Delve. They're probably not playing decks that are using Delve, and that's like, you don't give it. You find a way to give this away to a player that just stops them from casting their spells. Because it's like, I don't want to lose the life. I love that kind of stuff. It's a punishment. Like, if your deck's built for it, it doesn't matter. If your deck's not built for it, it's a punishment.
I would just like to say that Standard's also getting Delve back. These are very powerful things coming into Standard.
Oh yeah. Standard's probably going to be in a weird spot, especially once Final Fantasy drops and this is still in there too. This is, and Spider-Man's coming to Standard, right?
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man, man. I'm gonna reserve judgment until I see if that set's cool or not. I mean, there's not magic in the world of Spider-Man and Marvel, right? It's just
oh, there is. It's just not fantasy magic, really.
Yeah, it is.
It is, but
it is. Yeah, could you educate me on this? Because there's Spider-Man technically is it's not magic. It's he was biologically mutated by radiation.
Yeah,
and then there's a lot of technology.
There's tons of other heroes and villains in that universe that have actual magic.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Mysterio, before the movie had different powers. And one of my favorite villains, the Mandarin, he has magic rings that all do different things.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just woefully uneducated on Marvel stuff, I guess.
Yeah. There is a lot of magic. One thing that I appreciate is most of Marvel tries to not just be magic is it's magic. They try to kind of halfway science it where they can.
I guess so, yeah.
It's like the whole Doctor Strange thing, even in the comics. It's just magic. But when they get into it, it's pulling energies from different realms and this and that. It's it is magic.
It's magic with extra steps.
It's magic with a little bit more effort to explain why it's magic. It's not Harry Potter magic where it's just Wingardium Leviosa, this thing's flying now.
Yeah. Planeswalker Games in chat says things like Platinum Angel with that dragon will be fun to see.
Oh yeah.
I like that idea very much. I like that. It's a good idea.
Hey, we found a way to break Platinum Angel.
We
found one way to break Platinum Angel.
Never thought we'd see the day.
All right. Go ahead.
I would like to take the next Planeswalker after you guys talk about Taval.
Yeah,
okay, yeah. Do you want to take the next Taval?
I'll take Taval, the balanced scale. This looks like it's going to be the dragon for the Sultai commander deck, which Otakemau in chat looks excited about. It's a 4-mana 4/4 flyer. When Teval attacks, mill 3 cards, then you may return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Ooh. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. I wonder if the druid creature type has any. I guess it's just because it's coming from your graveyard. Well, yeah. I'm curious why a druid.
I think it's more so just flavored to Tarkir as a plane, being very dragon and magic focused. I think That, and I mean, who knows? I know they're still doing kind of lore stuff, so there might be lore-ish reasons for why Tavalla is creating zombie druids.
Also
Well-
incredible art.
I mean, it's got to be Ugin stuff, right? Like, they're all spirit dragons now.
Yeah.
They all have abilities that Ugin has as well. So it's got to be something with the storm and the fact that Ugin and Nicol are like brothers. Maybe these new dragons are what happens when those eggs aren't separated and they're spirit dragons. I don't know.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna drop a little bit of like might be fake lore that I've been hearing going around. So bear with me if this doesn't turn out to be true. This is just what I've been like, the whispers I've been hearing about some of the lore stuff going on. Our Lord and Savior, along with his brother, is back, baby. I don't know if they're printing him, but apparently Nicobolus has left.
Wait, what?
Apparently. I don't know if it's true or not. This is what I've been hearing.
Okay, so people are saying because we have an Ugin printing that Nicol is now out of the meditation realm. I don't believe that Ugin has to be there physically to keep Nicol in there, though.
Well, it's making me think about like Baldur's Gate 3. Like, is it a concentration spell for him to keep him there?
I think it's just like Ugin is his watcher. Because you know that they would milk every little piece of Nicol being back in the trailers leading up to this. It would be a much bigger thing, I think. I don't think they would just drop and be like, oh, Nicol is back. They would make him the figurehead of the set, and he would be the reason people would buy it.
Oh, hold up. So we got in chat here. Oda Kim out in YouTube chat says in one of the more recent stories he escaped. Jace happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
Wait,
that's
this
right.
is
Yeah,
Jace's fault?
It might be. It is. From what we've heard so far. I don't think any of it's fully. Yeah, Jace happened though. That's what I was reading. A lot of people were mad at Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, the Planeswalker as well is saying I hear Bolus is also coming back. Okay, I'm happy about this. I'm a Bolus lover, and I know that like I started playing in Amonkhet, an Hour of Devastation. Bolus was the pivotal like heal, but also just like a really cool villain. And the War of the Spark thing, like I don't know if you all feel my emotion with this, but like when that War of the Spark trailer dropped and like all the visual and like the story with War of the Spark, like that brought like a tear to my eye with Gideon and
Liliana.
Yeah, geez, why I'm like forgetting some of the like biggest names in Magic today.
That's why they stopped printing multiples and now they're doing it again.
Right. All right. So you want to talk about Big Brother here?
Speaking of our boy.
Oh, they're so pretty. Oh my god.
Eye of the Storm. So this is nuts. I mean, it's 7-drop, which is crazy. Both Brando and I run a Zuladoc deck, and this is a perfect drop for that. I am going to build an Oathbreaker with this, though, and I have been told that because I'm building this, I am immediately a target. And here's why.
Oh, why is that?
Ugin, Eye of the Storms, for 7 mana, he has 7 loyalty when he comes out. When you cast this spell, exile up to 1 target permanent that's 1 or more colors. Lots of stuff. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, exile up to 1 target permanent that's 1 or more colors. So if you have it, like we play Oathbreaker, which is Planeswalkers in the command zone, and this in the command zone is not nice. It's not good. But second, like the static ability of just whenever you cast a colorless spell, if you exile a permanent, that's nice.
Yeah, especially because the entirety of that deck in Oathbreaker has to be built with colorless spells. So every spell that you cast from your hand subsequently is doing what like Teferi's Emblem did.
Yeah. And when half of that is just mana rocks for the hell of it, and you can just be like, oh, here's Cheerio, Sol Ring, Arcane Signet, Commander Sphere. That's however many permanents just gone.
Now, lucky for me, I have an Aether Spark deck that I'm going to take apart here. And this is going to take its place. The +2 on this guy is you gain 3 life and draw a card in something like Oathbreaker. That's really handy because you have 20 life. Commander, still handy, 3 life, draw a card as well for a +2. Phenomenal. The big hitter here is the 0, add 3 colorless.
Yeah.
So you can use that to cast spells to exile colored permanents.
Yeah.
The finale, the lovely little cherry on top, as if it needed it. Search your library for any number of colorless non-land cards, exile them, then shuffle. Until end of turn, you may cast those cards without paying their mana cost. The very important part here is that it says cast those cards. So when you're running Eldrazi in this nasty deck that you've built, you get them for free. And you get their triggers.
Yes.
So
What have they done? I am so
I'm yoked.
excited.
I'm so yoked over this.
now I have a thing to note about this. Your Aether Spark deck, you originally had built that with All Is Dust in the command zone, which is nutty. You don't even need that anymore. You can, as said in chat here, use Null Elemental Blast as a signature spell.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what's fun? I would no longer have that as the signature spell. I would switch it out for Null Elemental Blast because it's cheap and I could use it to exile spells and counter them.
Mm-hmm.
I am terrible, I know, but it's going to be so good.
Isn't Null only multicolored though?
Yes.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So like you wouldn't be able to stop like it wouldn't be able to stop like
Monocolored decks, monocolored decks, it wouldn't work very well. But
I just mean there's a lot of like most removal is monocolored.
Monocolored, so
Yeah, this card's nuts. Ugin Eye of the Storms is one of the most powerful planeswalkers I've seen printed in a while, and like this seems like Eldrazi-tron in Modern has a really, really tasty 7-drop target now for those decks, which, I mean, Eldrazi-tron in Modern is a high contender right now. Eldrazi Ramp in Modern has been doing very well because of the Ugin's Labyrinth and the Null Drifter, all of these like really sick cards. This is like, man, is this too much?
Listen, I've been saying this since before we started this channel. They started printing nukes for everybody. They literally have just been printing nukes for everybody. If everybody's got a nuke,
you get a Crater Hoof. You get a Crater Hoof. Everybody gets a Crater Hoof. Everybody gets nuked.
Everybody gets a Crater Hoof or everybody gets an Omniscience. Pick one.
Yeah.
Both are fine. Hey, I would like you, if you could, to scroll down just a little bit. Other than like the beautiful full art where his claw's coming around. Cool, beautiful. Scroll down just a little bit.
Well, I have to click next 60.
Oh. Click it.
Oh,
Give yourself
click
a
it.
little
Oh.
treat here. Let's scroll down a little.
Oh, the shiny one.
Look at that alternate foiled Ugin.
Oh
That
my god.
card, I think, could get up to 120.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because
Well,
I
actually,
want one, and I'd pay up to 120
I bet
for
you they're
it,
going to
so.
be more than that because this, like, for instance, the fracture foils in previous set fame, all of the fracture foils were hundreds of dollars. So I think that the previous version here that we've got that is like it's the same treatment, that one will probably be $100 or something. The
All
fracture,
depends
like,
on how much they're in.
yeah, it's nutty.
That, whew, it sure is nice.
We got Otakimau in chat says, I will say I kind of miss the aesthetic of OG Tarkir. Dragonstorm doesn't have that same dark feel to it, to me.
I
Because
agree.
they're all spirits now. They're all very bright and shiny and ethereal. Yeah, it has taken some of the grime away from it, but we get a pretty looking set now.
True.
I'm all
Ew.
for it.
I mean, when you look at that Ugin, it's like, that's hard to miss. You know, it's hard to beat.
It's very hard to beat.
All right, who wants to take it, Rennie?
I'll take a Rennie because again, I feel like there's an unfair amount of cards that could either go into Tamir decks or are just Tamir color coded out of this set, and it makes me so happy. Rennie of the Unwritten. Look at her. She's just screaming at the void. Tamir, 7 cost, 7/7 flying trample. When it enters or attacks, look at the top 8 cards of your library. You may put a dragon card from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Another immediate auto include for Miram, because I get 2 of that, and then I get 2 of whatever. Oh my god!
Wait,
so
it's enters
stupid.
or attacks too. This is
Yeah.
This is spicy.
Yep.
So wait, you I mean, in your Miram deck or in an Dragon deck, you're paying 7 mana, 7/7 flying trample, and essentially like cascade into another dragon.
And in Miram deck, you cascade into 2,
Oh,
which then turns into 2 each of those. Let's go.
so sounds like a
I'm-
bad card, right?
No, yeah, terrible.
Bad card.
Yeah,
Throw it away.
7 mana, broken, too expensive, not worth it.
All right, I'll take her any. The song Unending. This is one. Ooh, geez. Okay, 5 and then Timir Pips. So that is a 8 mana, 10/10 flying protection from white and black. When Ireni enters, it deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and/or planeswalkers your opponents control, where X is the number of lands you control. Woof. That seems like a very classic dragon design.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
I like it. 10/10 is pretty great too.
yeah. Oh my god. This is what was the deck that was the big butts? That wasn't Timur, was it?
No,
it's-
Absent.
That was Abzan,
Yeah, it
right?
was-
I was gonna say this in that deck would be pretty stellar.
I mean, realistically, you could build an Dragon deck that is just dragons that have things that work with big butts, because dragons just most of the time have big butts.
True.
They're typically 5/5s or bigger, 4/4s or bigger.
Yep. I might have to build a dragon deck. I have the Dragon precon that just because of like sanctity, I want to keep it as a precon because it's
fact
the
that you don't
Dragon
want-
precon. But this might make me actually like bust out and build an Dragon
You should.
upgraded as well. I don't want to. I've realized that in my Magic ish now, if I have a precon, I'm very reluctant to take apart or upgrade the precon because I do like to have a very good collection of precons to bust out and play. Because like now that we have, I guess, the brackets that describe the core 2, it's just nice to have a precon when you need one.
Yeah.
So the last thing I want to do is like take the Dragon and chop it up. Like I guess I just have to have 2 Dragons. We got to go the way of Daniel from Into the 99 and have. But what he's closing on? I think he's over 800 decks now.
Well over 800. The last time I chatted with him, he had like well over 800 built, and he was building like 70 new decks. So he's probably got like 950 decks.
Yeah. That's a
and none of
real
us are
Magic player.
lying. This is true. We have seen them.
Yeah.
It's 100% true, and it's scary.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's on my list to do an episode of on our channel is just go over to Daniel's house and do like an interview style, like delve into the madness of like this dude has nearly 1,000 commander decks.
I'll just call him one day and see if he's home, give him no context. We're just going to boot his door open and be like, okay, Daniel, let's take a look.
I'm
all
gonna
right.
take this next one here.
Okay, are you talking about Velamagas?
A boy I know very, very well. There's one more down a little further. New Zergo.
Zergo, yeah. So we have
Right
a
on the wall.
reprint of Velomachus and a reprint of Veyron. Those are
You bet. Yeah, a lot of cards from Strixhaven coming through. I guess this is all for the Jeskai deck, all of these ones, but it's really good. So we got a new Zergo. He is a 3/3 mobilize 1. So whenever this creature attacks, create a captain attacking 1/1 red warrior creature token, sack it at the beginning of the next end step. Whenever a creature token you control leaves the battlefield, draw a card if it was attacking. Otherwise, each opponent loses 1 life.
This is
So
good.
token 7 is great. Yeah, you could run anything that just generates 1/1s and just use them to draw.
Well, also it's in Mardu, and like we've got the Blood Artist trigger sort of. Right, each opponent loses a life when a creature token you control leaves the battlefield. So any sort of token loop just drains and kills the table. And this is
So
a
I'm
3-drop.
curious. I'm curious about on like layer interaction for this. So you move to combat, you move to attackers. As soon as you move to attackers, you can declare tokens as attackers. They're considered attacking. When it leaves the battlefield, does that stop? I'm assuming that stops at the end of combat, right? Because that's worded specifically to be like, okay, this token gets blocked, it's still going to do the thing, right? Because it was attacking. If it's before end of combat, but after damage is dealt, and you just like, hey, I'm going to sacrifice everything, is that Like I'm curious on the layers.
I believe that the way it's worded,
If it attacked this turn, I think this has to trigger if it died after attacking.
but
if
like
it died
in combat, right?
Yeah, during the combat phases.
Because otherwise it would say draw a card if it attacked this turn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the static essentially, whenever a creature token you control leaves the battlefield, and then you take out that middle clause, each opponent loses 1 life. So the each opponent loses 1 life can happen outside of combat, but the draw a card trigger will happen if it dies in combat
Yeah. Yeah.
or is sacrificed in combat.
Yep, real good. I wish it had more connection with like the other Zergo, so it could like be switched out as a commander or like actually be running that deck, but it's still pretty cool. Cool to see him.
Well, yeah, I think he's also one of the. I think he's the Mardu face commander for the box.
That would make sense.
That's cool.
That would make sense.
Yeah, Planeswalker says it's like ninjutsu. You can do it at the end of combat.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's yeah. Cool. Thank you for answering that. That's what I was curious about. Because yeah, is it like does it have to be like it has to be in the combat step? But I was wondering if like end of combat it's still you can still do it. Like I moved to end of combat while we're still in combat. Viserys Seer everything to death and draw.
I mean, I
cards
think
and
you
drain
do it like after damage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we've got. I think we're getting into the rest of the set here. Yeah, well, there's still so much to talk about. We're in an hour and 10 already. I don't even know if we're gonna have time to go through everything, right? But
I mean,
I think we should just go on to the lovely little secrets, the specials,
special guests.
or special guests. Let's
Okay,
get into it.
Yeah, let's do a quick search here. Tarkir.
while you're searching that up, one quick little notice, if you guys haven't seen already, we're getting a full set reprint of everybody's favorite, the fetch lands.
Fetch lands and the ultimatums.
And the ultimatums. All new sets of all the ultimatums.
Scryfall. Do we got TDM? How do I special guests gallery? Here we go. These unreal pieces of art from Dominic Mayer of the ultimatums. Oh. Oh. Like these cards are nuts. The Ruinous Ultimatum has always been a nutty one to me that I don't see in Commander enough. Ruinous Ultimatum is the Mardu one. I just want to talk about that one right off the rip. It's red, white, black. Destroy all non-land permanents your opponents control. Ugh.
Yeah.
As compared to the Jeskai one, the Jeskai one just sucks, right? Yeah. It's like the Jeskai one is Inspired Ultimatum. Target player gains 5 life, deals 5 damage to any target, and then you draw 5 cards. Great card. But
It's not a really good board wipe, is the problem.
Yeah, then we got new art for these fetch lands. So Genesis Ultimatum. Which was the one? Sorry, it was Emergent Ultimatum here. The one it was in Standard. It was a ridiculous combo in Standard. It's the Sultai Ultimatum. Search your library for 3 mono-colored cards with different names and exile them. An opponent chooses one of those cards. Shuffle that card into your library. You may cast the other cards without paying their mana costs. This was always like kind of like an intuition style card where you searched for a pile of cards where no matter what your opponent chooses, they lose the game on the spot because the other ones would get the other one out of the graveyard.
That's exactly it. Yep.
Or I guess this one shuffles into your library, but yeah, you usually just set up like no matter what, between these 3 cards there's a 2-card combo that closes the game. These are crazy, amazing cards. What was the set that they came from? This was Ikoria, right?
It was Ikoria, yeah. Yep. Beautiful, and all the arts are of the commanders specifically, or like the dragons that could potentially be in that deck, right?
Oh yeah, you're right.
So if you're a fan of matching arts like I am, and you want everything to be the same, oh boy, adding this in, good idea.
Yeah, and then I guess actually, you know what? While we're here, let me just search Dragon Scale Foil Tarkir. See if I can get this video. Can I get this bigger, please? I don't know if you can see this,
I can see it pretty good.
but it is.
Oh yeah.
It is unreal. Like, look at that Scalding Tarn.
Man, I didn't need another full art foil Scalding Tarn. God damn it.
Yeah.
That's bonkers.
So yeah, we got the enemy fetch lands. We got the
I'd like to
ultimatums.
mention, scroll up just a wee bit here. So that Misty Rainforest there.
Yep.
There was a forest that was released, I think, in one of the unsets. I think it was like, oh no, maybe one of the Modern Horizon sets that everyone was ragging on because the shapes of the trees were really, really geometric, and I actually quite liked that. When I looked at this Misty Rainforest, I said to myself, I was like, that kind of reminds me of that forest, and it's because it's the same artist, Adam
Cool.
Paquette. Yep. So he did the forest that everybody hates, and this one is just gorgeous. The Misty
I agree.
Rainforest.
I gotta double down on that Scalding Tarn though.
Oh yeah.
That is just.
Oh, beautiful.
I'm not a fan of
Scalding Tarn is my fave.
like I'm not a fan of grayscale paint color in general. But when it comes to something like that Scalding Tarn with like that bright popping pink, my god, that looks so good.
It's like a cherry blossom that's like the roots are just holding on desperately to this piece of rock jutting out of the water. Oh,
But
Yeah.
we have an even greater treat other than the beautiful art for these fetches. And it's more fetches with dragon art.
oh yeah. Dragon fetches. That's really-
Dragon fetches.
yeah, this set
Soak it
is insane. Oh, there's multiple arts here.
The verdant
Yeah.
catacombs matches that Crater Hoof Behemoth as well.
Oh yeah, with the purple
It's the same purple flowers, yep.
and it's a
They
different
nailed
artist. Johannes Voss did this one. So we've got two
Alright,
different
they-
arts. We've got
well-
an Adam Paquette for I think probably the dragon scale foils. Or no, because these ones don't have a star on them, so
No,
it's not a
what if
foil.
that was just the Misty Rainforest, I think. Oh no, it looks like he did a bunch of the others.
Yep.
I think maybe he did all of them. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we have the entire full 10 because I saw these 10 cards.
It's just the enemy. It's 5 of them.
So yeah, we have two different arts for all of the enemy lands. It looks like Adam did all of this one.
Yeah, and then the other ones we've got an assortment. Valeria Lutfalinia, Livia Prima, Marco Gorley, and Johannes Voss.
You're just perfect. And,
Yeah.
and again, if you're like me and you like to match everything with your decks, having some dragon fetches for your Dragon deck, can't miss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. All right,
Which,
well,
for any new players or any players that are going to pick these up and don't already know, these cards can go in any colored deck. So if you have a deck that's not running these colors, you won't get much use out of them if you're not running the land types. But if you're playing a Simic deck and you look at any of those ones that aren't inherently Simic, like Scalding Tarn, right? You don't need to fetch for the mountain. You can still fetch for your island.
yep.
They're
Deck
not colored.
thinning. All right. Well, overall thoughts. I mean, we've talked about some of the heaters. There's some really wonderful commons and uncommons, but it's getting a bit late, and I should probably shut this stream down. And I mean, we're already at an hour and 20.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are your thoughts?
You
For
go
me,
it.
like dragons have always been my favorite creature type. Something that fantasy just feels like inherent with. There's just always dragons. So going back to a set where it's all dragons again and having it like a different flavor of the same kind of plane, I'm really excited about it. It's cool to see old characters. Ugin is incredible. I think this set is gonna get a lot of players like going and like buying packs and stuff again, because for years I've just not been buying packs. I haven't really been interested in it. But for this, like, I'm getting one of each of the precons, I'm going and getting packs, I'm gonna go to like pre-release and I'm gonna do draft and stuff. It feels really good to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the wake of maybe this is part of the test too. They're doing this nice, safe, regular Magic set, something that's gonna bring all the oldies back into fruition, and then right after the gate, oops, here's your twice the pay standard sets.
SpongeBob, yeah.
Well, SpongeBob, I think, is just the secret lair, which is fucking
Yeah,
hilarious.
totally. But like,
Yeah.
they're gonna be doing more non-magic stuff for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uncle
But at
Ben
least we get something
in
nice.
standard.
Is a treat. You did.
Yeah, so I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about on the podcast, but this one we'll reserve as the Tarkir Dragonstorm Hypecast.
Yeah.
And then I'm down to record maybe this weekend. We'll get through some of the topics. I'd love to talk about Face Edmonton that we were just at. We were lucky enough to be invited to be special guests for that one again. And we had a wonderful time, and we did record one game. That's it. We will have a vlog from it. And I know at this point it seems like we gotta get to editing those. I think I'm gonna shift gears into just grinding out editing the vlog stuff because it is fun. But for now, I wanted to talk about these cards. I want to talk about the coolest set that's come out in I feel like a long time.
Since the last Tarkir. No, 100%. I'm excited. I'm getting at least 3 new dragon decks out of this, and Miram's getting juicy upgrades, so I couldn't be happier.
All right.
Neither.
Well, thank you to everybody in chat for the engagement. It makes doing the podcast so much more fun, having people to bounce stuff off of.
I love hearing about the things that you like and the dragons that you like, because I also like things and dragons.
Yeah.
Nice to connect.
All right. Well, we will see you on the next episode of the Rogues Passage podcast and all the crazy stuff we do. Like and subscribe, of course. Please tell your friends. For now, we're out. I'm gonna send it out here on some Planeswalker music that you've been hearing in behind. I don't know. I guess we normally don't have music playing in the back of our podcast, but for the live stuff, it's nice for the hangout. So if you've listened this far, you're one of the real ones. We thank you very much. Thank you for being here. See you guys later.
Good night.
Bye.